यस्त्व इंद्रियाणि मनसा नियम्य आरभते अर्जुन कर्मेंद्रिये कर्मयोगम असक्तः स विशिष्यते. Hello friends, this is the 7th shlok of the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says, Yastu Indriyani Manasa, which means, but one whose senses with the mind, Niyamya Arabte Arjuna, which means are brought under control, O Arjun, Karmendriye Karma Yogam Asaktah, which means engage their senses in Karma Yoga Savishishyate, which means they attain distinction. So, in the previous shlok, Sri Krishna told Arjun that those people who on the surface show that they have brought their senses under control, but in the mind they keep thinking about the sense pleasures, those people are basically deluded, and they are called as foolish people by the wise ones. So now in this shlok he is telling Arjun that while those people who are not only in control of their senses externally but are also in control of their senses in their mind, those are the ones who are basically the people with distinction. So, in other words, what Sri Krishna is pointing to over here is that the actions can only be brought under complete control when you have controlled them in your mind itself. Or, in other words, the act of thinking about doing an action is also an action, and so you have to be extremely careful in terms of what you are thinking, because if you are not very disciplined in your thoughts, then that will also have negative consequences. So this is something which is quite consistent with the findings of modern psychology, where people say that whenever you are thinking about doing something, then you are basically strengthening the neural pathways inside your mind, which will then impel you towards performing that action. This is the reason why a lot of athletes, they do the process of creative visualization in order to improve their sports, because when they perform these creative visualizations where they are really playing their sport in their mind, then this helps them in terms of building the neural pathways to improve their performance in the real world also. So this clearly shows that whenever you are thinking about something, then basically you are acting not to the level where you are physically acting it, but you are still acting on the external stimulus. This is the same thing as what the idea of mantra is, where the person who is performing the spiritual discipline is asked to repeat a mantra again and again. And by mantra, it does not mean just the small phrase, but the physical actions also. For example, when you are offering flowers to your deity, that is also a sort of a mantra, because you are just repeating the same thing again and again. So by doing that, your neural pathways are building up and you are becoming one with your deity itself. So the action of performing these mantras are also something which are repeated again and again, so that you can then change your behavior in the physical world also. So that is the whole idea, that just performing an action externally is not sufficient. You have to also change it in your mind also. So the people who are wise, actually, they not only control their actions, but they also control their thoughts. And the wise people have always said that whatever you think is what you become. So that is the whole thing, that you have to be very careful in terms of only cultivating good thoughts inside your mind and not really cultivating bad thoughts. Now you have to be careful that you might still get bad thoughts in your mind, and I mean the sanskars that have been cultivated over so many lifetimes are not completely under your control, and so it is possible that a bad thought might come in your mind, but this is a natural process, and the people who are wise, they accept it, that yes, a bad thought is coming in my mind. They accept it and they say, oh yeah, this is a natural process of my sanskars, and they do not really give much importance to these thoughts. And when they do not give much importance to these thoughts, then the strength of these thoughts actually decreases. And when the strength of these thoughts is decreased, then you can easily win over them, and by practicing it many times, then you will cultivate good sanskars, and these bad sanskars will fall down. And so over a period of time, these bad thoughts will stop coming in your mind. So as discussed in the commentary on the last slok, that anything which is bad with respect to ourselves have to be first accepted, then understood, and then after that you can win over them. Just resisting it and saying, oh no, I have not these bad thoughts, will not really help. So that is basically the message of this shlok, that the thinking is also a process of karma, and so if your thoughts are bad, then that will also have consequences. So a person who is really disciplined is the one who controls his thoughts in mind itself. Just externally controlling your actions while still continuing to think about it in your mind is not going to take you anywhere. So I hope I have explained this shlok well to you. With that, I'll close this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.